but I don't really know how that lines up with the camera. So anyway, what we gonna talk about, man? We're gonna talk about Trey the Truth. Now, anybody who knows Trey the Truth, man, he's a very popular underground rapper, man. I wouldn't even say underground, man. He's made some noise on a level above underground. And he recently was trying to pick his daughter up from the airport. You know, when you live out of state, then you have to meet at the airport to spend time with your child. You know, you have to meet at the airport, pick them up from the airport, move on, then take them back to the airport, fly them in. You know, that's what you have to do. You have to fly one way or the other. And so he's there, man. He's waiting for Truth. His daughter's name is Truth. He's sitting there, and suddenly he gets served at the airport while he's waiting there with a restraining order from his bitter baby mama. Now, we're going to take a deep dive on this thing today. And it's going to be a scathing, I say report, review, a scathing piece of content. Because I'm going to tell you, man, some very alpha things to do that a whole bunch of men can't do. But the first thing we're going to talk about, first you got to get out your feelings. Because this thing ain't about no feelings, man. This ain't about no feelings. If this was about feelings, then everybody would be all in love with everyone, and love would always work out fine. This ain't never about feelings. This is about dealing with the world from here, not here. That's what it's about. So the first thing we're going to talk about is this. We got a couple of elephants in the room. The first elephant is when you upgrade your life, you got to upgrade the people in it. That means your homies. You know how many cats get drugged down by their homies, man, who ain't got no purpose around except y'all been my homies for life? Well, let me tell you something about homies. If we ain't elevating to the same level, we ain't homies. We were just people that was on the same level, existing in the same space for a period of time. And so we coexisted better than most other people. But when I moved to level 3 and you still at level 1, we ain't homies no more because I ain't dragging nobody up. As a matter of fact, let's just cut to what my homie 50 said. Let me tell you something. You don't owe nobody nothing. If you got kids, you owe them to take care of them. You owe them to provide and protect. Everybody else, man, you don't owe them nothing. You don't owe your parents nothing for choosing to bring you in the world and do their job to take care of you. But before we start this, let's put in perspective what I'm about to tell y'all by listening to the homie 50 talk. Again, me and 50 Cent agree on a whole bunch of things, man, and this is another one of those things. All right, here we go.
It becomes clearer to me each and every day is that I don't owe anyone a thing, and neither do you. I've seen a lot of people pollute their potential after sipping from the well of entitlement. This is certainly true of many of the people I've been associated with over the years. What they need to understand is that you should never feel like the world owes you anything. It doesn't. You must accept that it's all on you. That might seem like a very cynical way to view the world, but I would argue that it's actually liberating. You can only feel betrayal when you feel like you're owed something from someone. You can only feel resentment when you had expectations for assistance. When you accept that it's all on you, only then can you finally be free to focus 100% on being the best version of yourself. The one thing that becomes clearer to me each and every day.
Only then can you focus on becoming the best version of yourself. People will hold you back from becoming the best version of yourself just because they can. Because no one wants to see you become the best version of yourself, because everyone knows what happens. Everyone knows what happens when you become the best version of yourself. First thing you start doing is cutting people off. Now, you call it cutting people off. They call it leaving people behind. They call it selling out. They call it doing a whole bunch of other things except becoming the best version of yourself. Man, let me tell you something. I got homies, man, that still don't know that I wasn't in prison. I got homies, man, think I'm still in prison now, man, doing a lifetime bid. You know why? Because even when I'm in my city, man, there's very few people I touch down with. And the people I touch down with, I can trust them over the years, man, to keep their lips zipped. Why? Because I don't have nothing to prove to them. And I don't have nothing to prove to you by having them speak on my behalf. I don't care. There are more people that would do more damage to me for those guys to come tell you about what they know about me from then, it would do more damage to me in the people in the circles that I need to grow in, because none of that matters. Yeah, I can go around some hood cats and have some OGs vouch for me, man. Vouch for my OG status, how I represented myself, man. How I built my reputation, how I did the things I did, what I overcame. But that ain't nothing. All I care about is forward mobility. I was just telling my little shawty, man, just earlier, man. You gotta whenever you move in, you gotta move forward. You can't be looking back. You can't. Anytime you have regrets, that means you're looking at the past. You can't regret the future. You don't even know what the hell it is. So anytime you're living with regret, you're living in the past. You're living in a time that's gone, that you can't even affect. You're living in a time that you think is affecting you the way it is, but it's only affecting you the way it is because you keep thinking about it. So that's the first thing we need to get out of the way. The mindset of the alphasphere is that I put me first. I'm going to do what's best for me, and those who benefit from that, fine. If you benefit from me doing what's best for me, I'm not going to take that from you. I hope you can benefit from it. But I tell you what ain't going to happen. I'm not going to do what's best for you if it ain't what's best for me. I don't care who y'all. I don't care who it is. And that's the mindset that a man must have in this world. There is no success awaiting a man who wants to take the world with him. So when you upgrade your life, you got to upgrade the women you deal with. Man, let me tell you something. There is absolutely no way that a made man with fame and popularity should still be dealing with scallywags. Scallywags is something you deal with when you ain't got no choice, man. You don't choose to deal with scallywags. You don't choose to deal with scallywags, man. It's not a good choice. They're not a good option. But that's what many men do. And here's the thing. The decisions you make today, I'm talking to the young brothers or any man who hasn't made it to where he wants to be. None of us made it there. But if you're not even on the way there, you're just trying to figure out what you need to do. And a refresher course for all of us. Anytime you put yourself in a position where you're willing to compromise who you are to benefit someone else, then you're going to lose. And by the same token, anytime you don't understand that the decisions you make today are going to affect you tomorrow, whether positively or negatively, there's no decision you're going to make that you're just going to ride scot-free from. If you make a good decision, you're going to make a good result. If you make a bad decision, you're going to get a bad result. That's it. That's what Trader Truth is dealing with right now. He's dealing with the bad result of a decision that he made in the past. So you can't regret the decision. You just got to deal with the result. Once you make the decision, and once the result comes down, the decision don't even matter no more. But the lesson to learn from this is that you got to make better decisions. Because here's the thing. You can say what you want to say about women, but a certain quality and caliber of woman will not put you through this about your child. A certain quality and caliber of woman will not go and put you on child support for a child that you're taking care of. I'm going to be honest with you. A certain quality and caliber woman won't even put you on child support for a child you ain't taking care of. Certain caliber of women, they have too much pride to go begging. They have too much pride to go tell the system, oh, I can't do it without him. I love those type of women. I love those type of women who say, how dare I go say, oh, I can't make it. I can't do it without him. I love those type of women. See, we don't live in a world anymore where you could be fantasizing about a woman who, I can't do nothing without my man. I can't do nothing without him. If he don't tell me how he do, I ain't going to even jump until he say jump. I don't know how high to jump. I can't even say he got to just everything. He got to do it for me. Man, the days are gone, man. You could be looking forward, man, to having anything meaningful with that type of woman, man. That type of woman, you meet her, she faking. Ain't no more women like that no more. If you meet a woman like that, she faking, dog. Maybe she don't want the responsibility of having to deal with life, but she ain't no woman out here that's like, oh, I'm just so submissive that I need my man to do everything. So you got to worry about the quality of women you deal with, man. There's a certain caliber woman who not finna go beg into the system to make you do nothing. And she ain't finna go act like she needs you. She finna do it herself. She already doing it herself. That type of woman you should be getting. Let me tell y'all something, man. The number one thing you should be looking for in a woman, man, if you're a made man, is a woman who can at the very least afford her own lifestyle. Because if she can't afford the lifestyle she want to live, you know what's gonna happen? And I'm not even talking about this exorbitant Hollywood life. But if she can't afford a comfortable life for herself, man, you know what she's going to do? She's going to get too attached to your life. And once she's in your life, she's gonna cherish it. She's gonna value it because it's just gonna be something. It's gonna be a fantasy to her. But once you have to push her out of your life because you grow past her, then you're gonna deal with the fallout of a woman who will do anything in her power to either get that life that you have, get back in it, or make sure that she can make it hard for you to maintain it by yourself. Kind of like that. If I can't have you, no one can. But it ain't about you. It's about the lifestyle. If I can't have that lifestyle, I'm gonna make sure you ain't gonna give it to no other, bro. But that's when you're dealing with a certain quality of woman. Now, when you upgrade your life, you also upgrade your damn environment. You ain't got no business being rich in the hood. Let me tell you something. Y'all put in the chat if y'all know one man who was born into the hood rich. Put in the chat if you know one man who was born in the hood and he was already rich. A man who was born a millionaire in the projects. A man who had a very impressive stock portfolio and he was born in the. I ain't talking about who was born in the project and made it to riches. I'm talking about a man who was born when he came out the womb, he was rich and he was born in the projects. Find me one. Tell me one you know. Anybody. While I get these super chats. D Joseph 78, man, appreciate the $50 sponsorship of the show, my brother. Salute to you. Thank you for finding your calling. We're all greatly blessed by it. Much needed. Salute to you. I appreciate that, brother. Salute to you as well. I appreciate you being in the building, man. I appreciate the sponsorship. Assad, my brother. Salute to you. Always representing. Appreciate the dub, man. Oh, class. Salute, my brother. Appreciate the dime. Paying my dues to the Alpha fraternity. I'm dropping a dime because this Alpha energy got me looking down on dime. Salute from Antigua. That's real talk, man. 1099, not W2. Entrepreneur life, boy, there it is. 1099, not W2. Weez Bowski, appreciate the 5 bones, man. For the plate. Salute, salute. Salute to the homie Weez. I ain't seen nobody putting that in the chat yet. Because ain't nothing, man. So when you become a millionaire, you ain't got no business in the hood, dog. Ain't no millionaires in the hood. The hood is not a place for a millionaire. The hood is no place for a millionaire. It makes no sense. Let me tell you something, man, and this is real talk. If you're a millionaire and you still hanging in the projects, whatever, if something bad happened to you, you deserve that. Because you keep forgetting that it does not matter what you used to be. It doesn't matter how much of a snake you used to be. It doesn't matter how much of a hyena you used to be, how much of a scavenger you used to be. Now you well fed. You well fed. You ain't never seen a pack of lions with full bellies still out hunting. No. But you're still trying to run on the savannah with lions that ain't got nothing to eat. So change the environment. Let's get to elephant number 2. Elephant number 2. Your woman was always beneath you. Even when you were in the project, she was still beneath you. See, this is the thing that women don't want to accept today. And men either. You hear a lot of men talking about this. That's why I don't do a whole bunch of collaboration, man, because you collab with a guy, then you hear him talking about the next day, man, women are God. And I be like, hold up, bro. Then I got to come out and make a piece of, hey, man, I don't support that. No matter what level you're on, your woman is beneath you. Now, that doesn't mean she's under your shoe. I'm not saying she's under your shoe and you stepping on her, but she's beneath you. In the hierarchy, she's beneath you. And the only men who don't understand that and embrace that is men who don't have a relationship with the Most High. So when men come in and say, I had somebody come into a comment the other day, man, and said, well, oh, man, I was with you until you start talking that church talk. Now, y'all know I'm saying that about church, but these boys so lost when they come to a relationship with the Most High, they think God is church. When you say God, all they think is church because they never had nobody tell them about nothing spiritual or religious but their mama. And their mama don't know nothing but church. So these guys don't understand that there's a hierarchy, God, man, woman. They think man and woman are equal. And anytime you think you and your woman are equal, it's going to be a sad situation for you. And then when you finally realize that y'all aren't equal, it's too late. If you start off with a woman telling her, okay, we equal, we 50-50. We right here, we 50-50. Okay, you ain't going to never be able to tell her, you know what? I lied. I was wrong. I'm above you. She's going to be like, nah, bro, this whole thing that we built was built on 50-50. How you going to just take above me? Everything that we built is just as much mine as yours. And she's right because you allowed yourself to be caught up in building a 50-50 situation with a woman. So you got to remember that she's always beneath you. So there's only certain things that you're going to allow a woman to do to you and put you through. Honestly, In this vid, man, Trey gonna tell you, man, it's been 120 days since he saw his daughter, and if he been actively showing, he too paid, man, to be dealing with this. But in the video that I upload, I'll do that. I put the video up tomorrow, man. The video I go more in depth about his situation and what he could be doing. In this one, we're gonna go general because I'm gonna talk about him. I got Stephen A. Jackson up in this joint. And we got Kanye acting a fool, man, because his baby mama that moved on to Pete Davidson. You got to keep in mind, man. Let me tell y'all something right now. Let's go and get into the third elephant so we can really get into this thing. We're just talking about the elephants now. We ain't even got into it yet. The third elephant, stepdad empowerment is undefeated. All a stepdad does is empower a woman to act stupid with her child's father. That's all he does. He comes in and fills in enough of the gap for the woman, not the child, for the woman that she doesn't even have to interact with you in a positive manner. Because literally in her mind, you're not needed because there's some man who's willing to come in and do the things that he shouldn't be doing. He comes in and lets the woman fit him into where she needs him to fit. And then that way he empowers her to deal with you like, man, you ain't even important. That's why you got to do the one thing that a hood cat ain't gonna do. A hood cat is not gonna go get the people involved. A hood cat don't want to deal with the law under no circumstances. But I'm gonna tell you, man, we're gonna take a dive into that right now. Aaron Murphy, repping the Magic City, repping B Ham, ham sandwich in the joint. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate the $50 co-sponsorship of the show. Birmingham checking in, keeping the gems coming. Salute, bro. Salute. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Olin Blue, appreciate the dub. Right on time. Salute, salute, man. All right, let's go ahead and get to the meat of this thing, man. We've been on the elephants, man, for about 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. Here's the first thing. Single moms have too many enablers. They have a list of enablers that allow them to be difficult, indecisive, and just downright egregious in the nature of the acts that they're willing to do and the things they're willing to say, the lies they're willing to tell, the images that they're willing to perpetuate of you. They have too many enablers. 601 in the building. Shout out to Jacktown. They have too many enablers. Other single moms are enablers. See, you got women out here who got a baby by Do Dirty who don't do that and play Madden all day and trying to treat Do Dirty like Do Dirty is Future or Drake or 50 or somebody or BOA, trying to treat him like he's a different guy than he really is and put pressure on him all the time. Here's the thing. When a woman makes the decision, and it is a decision. See, here's the thing. We're not going to play that game like the man has any say on the woman getting pregnant. The same way the man ain't got no say on if the woman keep the child. If you ain't got no say on if she keep the child, you ain't got no say on if she get pregnant. We're not going to keep allowing them to play us like we suckers. If I ain't got no say on whether you keep it, I ain't got no say on where you live with, I ain't got no say on none of that, then it's up to you to make sure the man you having a child with can provide for the child. It's up to you. But you have those single mothers who don't have that man, who have laid down and become impregnated by a man who cannot, will not, does not want to provide. And then they tell the woman who got a man who does provide, oh, let's forget them all then. So she's living vicariously through you. Man, you got a man that you ain't got to do nothing. You ain't never had to buy the child nothing, and you living a better life than you could live yourself. Because here's what it does when a man take care of the child completely. It gives you the right to do whatever you want to do with your money. So you can build the life you want with your money because the man taking care of the child. Here's the thing. Society accepts that being a single mother is a positive thing, even though the statistics show the damage that it does to a child. Whether male or female, the damage that it does to a child has been well documented. But this society perpetuates that it's a positive thing. I'm a mom and a father. I don't need no dad. On Mother's Day, I'm the mother. On Father's Day, I'm the father. All that. All of these things. Because we live in a society that accepts it. And if she can't make it like that, the society will assist her. So in every situation, a man has been made obsolete. And you just have to accept that. This ain't no, oh, woe is me. Oh, the system is against us. This ain't about that. The system been against us. This is about making the adjustments. And the first adjustment you got to make, get out your damn feelings. That's your first inclination. Get out of your feelings. I'm talking about get out of your feelings for the woman, get out of your feelings for the child. Take care of your child because you're a responsible man and it's the logical, reasonable, and prudent thing to do. Don't do it because you all in love with the thing. The role, the responsibility, the child itself. Don't be in love with nothing. Also, you got these poop butt stepdads out here. You got these men out here perpetuating that it's a positive thing to be a stepdad. Yes, if you're a stepdad, you gonna say it's positive. Why wouldn't you? Why would you say, no, the position I've taken is a bad thing, but I'm not gonna get out of it? No, you gonna talk about it like it's positive. But the bottom line is, you know it ain't. Deep down inside, you know it ain't. You're lying to yourself if you say it is, because deep down inside, you know it ain't, man. You know this. Ain't nobody making this up. We ain't playing no game. We ain't acting like nothing. We just keeping it a buck, man. This is real. This is very real. Y'all give me a quick second here, man. Trying to find. I don't think I put that thing in here. Let me see. I probably didn't. Let me check it out. I thought I did. There's a piece I'm looking for, man. I don't know if I put it in here or not. I didn't. I thought I did, but I didn't. I don't think this is it right here. Yeah, this is it. Y'all peep game. Here's another. Here's another situation where stepdad fill in, play the role, make the dad obsolete in the household, in the child's life, in the woman's life, in everybody's life, and then he get his reward all the way at the end. I want y'all to look at this.
Always like treasure the time I have with you. Yeah. Now you're my world. I got my last name changed. I'm now George Grimley Musto. Look at my jersey.
Feelings. Feelings.
I love you so much, Dad. I love you. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Now, the comments on that, well, you know the normal comments. Oh, look at that. That's so amazing. That's blah, blah, blah. Let me tell y'all something. When you hear that old man crying right there, that is years of pent up emotional frustration. Years of pent up emotional frustration for being in a role for which there is no reward. And all the way I want y'all to think about this. All the way at the end, when this boy is grown, going off into his adult life, he get the one thing that the dad been had his whole life. A father has this his whole life because that's his child. So when you have a man who's willing to play this role for all of these years, and let me tell you something, you really in trouble. You really in trouble. If the woman marries another man, you are obsolete. You are listen, bro, you are a financial provider and you are the least likely influence on that child. If you do not live in the home with the child, you are the least likely influence on that child. And so, with that being said, you have to detach yourself emotionally because there is no reward for the emotional attachment. Somebody else is reaping all of the benefits of having the child, rearing the child, seeing the child do things. And let me tell you something, what I ain't finna do. I ain't finna pull no Wiz Khalifa or no Nick Cannon. I ain't finna be going on doing no family functions with me there and the husband there. I ain't finna do that. And sometimes these dudes be doing it. The woman don't even be married. They be doing it with the new boyfriend. Y'all all somewhere on a child birthday. Bro, I don't give a. First of all, I don't care nothing about no birthday parties or none of that anyway. But man, I'm not finna do that. At no point am I gonna do that. Why? Because it's not what I'm supposed to do as a man. Sick of hearing about y'all letting society and women tell y'all what y'all supposed to do as men. You don't supposed to take no junk from no woman about no kid, man. What's wrong with y'all? A lot of time you're doing all that catering to the woman so she won't put you on child support. Fool, go put yourself on child support. Take some control of the situation. Take some power in the situation. That's the problem. Catering fathers. All this goes on, and then you turn around and cater to the woman. Cater to her for what? I'm not finna cater to no woman that ain't benefiting my life every day. Because she earning the catering. I don't care who she is. You walk around here letting the woman, man, don't even live in your house, don't even clean your house, don't even wash your drawers, man. You ain't even intimate with the woman. Don't even do nothing to give you no money. Matter of fact, cost you money every day. And then you want to sit around, man, you going to cater to the woman? Well, and you got guys, well, I'm going to stay with the woman for the child. Boy, you feminine if you tell me you're going to stay with a woman for the children. That's what women do. Matter of fact, that's what women used to do. Women don't even do that no more. A woman ain't finna stay with a man she don't want for no children, boy. What's wrong with y'all? That's why you got to become the most outward of yourself so you get out all that feminine feelings and all that, man. Too much feelings going on. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Man, we ain't got time for that. So stop catering to the woman. Here's the problem. You allow the emotional attachment to the child, allow you to be subconsciously emotionally attached to the woman. You understand what I'm saying? So you got me around here still talking about, listen, what you look like getting into a fight with the broad new man. How you gonna tell the woman you could be with who you want to be and just don't have nobody around my child? Like that type of foolishness, that type of immaturity. Here's the problem. If you have a child with a woman who does not fit into your life, it ain't even about being with the woman forever. It's about having the one being in the situation until the child is old enough to take care of itself, until the child is old enough to take the lessons you teach it. A la Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan knew he wasn't going to stay with Juanita. He knew, man, he was rich and he was going to get richer. He had aspiration to own a team. He already knew it. And he said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. You benefited from this phase of my life when I was a player. Okay, I'm about to go into the ownership phase. You won't do. I need me some young and tender in my ownership phase. So I'm going to give you half of this 300 million right here. Let you take it with you. You should never be broke again. You understand? I'm going to give you $150 million. You should never be broke again. The boys are grown. They off to college. We're done. And he gave her $150 million, man, to cut her loose. Why? She was going to get half anyway. Why go fight in court and got to pay attorney fees and do all that? Well, you can just sit down and say, look, man, we can sell this out of court. This is what I'm worth. I'm going to give her half. And then you go on and go from being worth 300 million to being worth 1.7 billion. That's what you do. But y'all picking women that you don't even want. You can't have a kid with a woman you don't even want. Here's the thing you got to remember. Having a child with a woman is a long-term relationship. It's a long-term relationship. It's not marriage. It's not that, but it's a long-term relationship because that's a long-term connection for at least 18 years. It's a long-term connection. And so you cannot have a child with a woman who you do not see as a wifey type. Whether you're going to marry her or not, if you don't see her as wifey type, you shouldn't impregnate her or you're going to be dealing with this right here. Because the bottom line is, if you impregnate a scallywag, whose fault is that? You got to take responsibility. So that emotional attachment, you got to love yourself more than anything else. What 50 was talking about before, and I tell you man this all the time, you got to put yourself first. You got to prioritize yourself. The only way you can do that is if you love yourself more than anyone else. You have to love yourself more than anyone else. There ain't nobody who I love more than I love me. It ain't even close. Nobody. There ain't nobody I love more than I love me. If you take all the love I have for everybody else and combine it, it ain't going to be more than I love myself. And this ain't about selfishness. This is about me understanding that if I don't prioritize me, no one else will. If you don't prioritize yourself, if no one else will, that's going to put you at the bottom of the totem pole in every walk of life. The only way to be at the top of the totem pole in every walk of life is to prioritize yourself. There's nothing wrong with putting yourself first. You have to prioritize yourself. Male humans are the only male species who don't prioritize themselves. We're the only ones who believe that we're supposed to be like women. Family first. That's a female thing. That's a female thing. Read the book of Proverbs. Read Proverb 31. Proverb 31 woman, she's the, I love my family. I got to make sure my family is okay. As a man, you provide, protect, and make sure that your family is tightly connected with the Most High. Make sure that your family is living a life that's pleasing to God so y'all continually be blessed. That's your job as a man. Your job as a man to lead your family, not to be all lovey-dovey and smoochy, kissy with everyone. That ain't your job as a man. And that's how you get caught up in a situation where you can't sit down and say, hey, look, Shaka, let me tell you something. This was a mistake to have a child with you, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Nothing. Don't tell her name. You say this to yourself. Man, it was a mistake to have a child with this problem, man. So you know what I'm going to do? Let me get my attorney, man, to go in here, man, and let me subpoena her. Let me get her subpoena. Because here's the thing. You got to establish order in your life. And if it takes a court order to establish that order, you got to have order in your life. Anything where you don't have order in your life is a ball of confusion. And a ball of confusion is combustible. At any time, it could blow up in your face. You don't need that to happen. You got to be in control of your life, man. Another thing about emotional attachment. It is the enemy of energy protection. The more things you're emotionally attached to, the less equipped you are to protect your energy. Emotion is the opposite of your alpha energy. It doesn't want you to build your alpha energy. It doesn't want you to become the most alpha version of yourself. Why? Because that way you're going to govern your emotion. People who want emotional ties to you want you to be emotionally weak. That's just the way it is. Why? Because they want to be able to have their way with you. You think your child don't want to have their way? You got a little girl, man. You think she want to have her way? You got a son. You don't think he want to have his way? You don't think he wants you to say yes to everything he asks you for? Yes. That's why people want the emotional attachment with you. As a man, you got to see it from here, though. Everybody else see it from there. Children and women see it from there. You got to see it from here, man. Emotional attachment is no space for a man to be in. It's an absolutely negative headspace for a man who's trying to be the most alpha version of himself. You can't do it if you're constantly in a state of emotional attachment, man. Another thing about emotional attachment, you got to remember this. Her emotional attachment can be positive and negative. So if she has a disdain for you, obviously Trey the Truth girl has a disdain for him. If she has a disdain for you, her disdain is stronger than everything except her need for validation. If a woman has disdain for you, her disdain for you is stronger than everything she feels. So she can be having a great day. Somebody bring your name up, man, just turn her day all the way bad because she has her disdain for you is that strong. And a lot of times she don't even know what the disdain is based on. Let's take a listen to Trey's video, man, before we get too far into this thing.
I've been at this airport all morning, man. My child was supposed to be here at 9 a.m. Not only did she not show up at 9 a.m., she just got me served. And then as I look at the papers that served, trying to have a restraining order saying I shouldn't be allowed around my child. Like, what type of games is you playing? And restraining order for what? I ain't seen my child in almost 120 days playing with you. You can't say you didn't know I was at the airport waiting for my child because you just got me served at the airport. I'm telling you, man, the devil working. Boy, I'm only going to be patient so long, man. It's all good, though. As y'all can see, truth ain't nowhere around. The games people play, boy.
Now, I want y'all to keep in mind, man, that when you're dealing with these types of things, man, this is a heavy burden for a man, especially if you're a man who's used to being able to take care of things and make sure they happen the way you want them to happen. However, you need to do that. But in this situation, You have to function under the emotional balance or the emotional imbalance. Because here you are, a situation that you're trying to have a positive interaction with. And here's what happens when you're a man and you're trying to interact with a situation positively, and the person on the other side wants to interact with you negatively. It drains your energy. And emotional attachment is what keeps you tied into this situation. Emotional attachment is the opposite of energy protection. That's why I say don't be emotionally attached. It's the opposite of energy protection. Markel, appreciate the fireball. There's no benefit of being a stepdad, like there's no benefit of being a beta male summer and China. Real talk, no benefit. Not to you anyway. The real ATM, appreciate the fireball. If God had an emotional attachment, nobody would be judged. Yeah, exactly. God loves your actions. When you're being obedient, He loves that. When you're not so much. And that's just the way you are. That's what masculinity is. It's reason, logic, prudence, understanding. And here's another thing about the emotional attachment. The stepdad is a happy participant, a willing participant in her pointed attack on your emotional attachment. The stepdad most times is just being used to attack your emotional attachment. That's all. And there's one mantra that applies to every facet of life. Whether you got a child with a woman and she moves on, or you move on, whatever, however that happens, y'all move on from each other. This is what happens. No woman, no one, but it starts with women. You have to dominate this with. You have to figure this out with women first, then apply it to the rest of your life. No woman deserves to have me and another man. Very few women deserve to have just me, but no woman deserves to have me and another man. So when guys be talking about, man, don't worry about what a woman doing. I don't care what she's doing. She don't deserve me if that's what she's doing. See, these guys don't have no self-worth. And so a lot of time, guys look around and they attach their value to the woman so much because they don't understand what the value of being a man is. Women understand it. That's why that's the whole reason to suppress masculinity and try to vilify the word masculinity. Why? Because they understand the power in it, but they can't use the word because it just doesn't apply to them. So they feel like if they eliminate our use of it, then they can just be it without having to claim it. And so you got a lot of men out here that live with that mindset. But you can't do that because the stepdad is going to do whatever the woman wants him to do. Once you agree to put yourself in a position of stepdad, you have already agreed to be whatever that woman wants you to be. Because there ain't much less worthless you can be than a stepdad. There ain't nothing worse. Because what you do, you put a woman in a position of power, an unrighteous position of power, to not have to deal with the father of her children or her child the way she's supposed to. Because here you are. Here you are. And I just feel like this. What you got to get into the habit of doing is if a man gonna step in and play that stepdad role, make him play the whole role. Don't you try to split hairs with him. Don't you? Well, I'll do this part and you do that part, and you sure better not walk up in that man and give him no shoes and then like that, like old boy did. I can't remember. Y'all remember I did that video, man. Give him some shoes like old boy did, man. You better not walk up in there and do that. That don't make a stitch of sense. But guys do it all the time. And you got to keep in mind that it just doesn't make sense. On your behalf, it doesn't make sense to put yourself in that position because you're never going to win. And as a man, your number one goal is to put yourself in positions that you can win. Your number one goal. Another thing about this emotional attachment is this. You love your child, but you cannot be in love with the child. You cannot be in love with the child. And a lot of men get caught up in that. Because see, whether we want to admit it or not, every person here, every one of us in here, every one of us in here needs love. But in the atmosphere, we're smart enough to live a life where we can get the love of God. See, if you don't get the love of God, you need the love of people. And a lot of men don't have that connection with the Most High, so they don't get the love of God. So you stuck. You stuck fighting and battling and striving and compromising for the love of people. And the love of people can't be trusted. The love of people can be manipulated. The love of people can be faked. The love of people can be here today, gone tomorrow. But if you live a life and earn the true love of God, bro, you don't need no emotional attachment to humans. Because you realize that love ain't emotional. True love is a spiritual connection. Because it's always led by logic, reason, understanding, wisdom, and knowledge. If you in any type of emotional state, bro, you ain't led by none of that. You led by pain. You led by joy. You led by frustration and sadness. You led by relief. You led by grief. You led by everything that feel, whether it's good or bad. And that's not the way we're supposed to be as men. I don't care what nobody tell you. That's not the way we're supposed to be as men. A lot of time we put ourselves in situations, man, where we just allow people to tell us anything, man. We don't care if it's true. We don't care if it's false. We don't care. We just allow people to tell us anything. Let me tell y'all something. Understand that when it comes to parenting, not having custody is a powerless position. You don't have any power. That's why you got to compromise. That's why you got to chase the woman. That's why you got to try to do whatever she want to do. That's why you got to acquiesce to her demands that make absolutely no sense. You got to do all of that. Why? Because you have no power. And as a man, you don't play a game willingly that you don't have power. You figure out how to empower yourself in the situation. So in a situation like this, what Trey should be doing is going to fight for custody. Put some of that paper on the line and go in there and fight for joint custody. Or full custody, but at the very least, joint custody. What are you losing? If you really care about the child, you want joint custody anyway. And it gives you the added benefit of having at least 6 months of your life absolutely structured. And then that trickles over into the rest of your life. Your life is going to be more structured and regimented if you got a child with you every day. So there are no detriments to it. That's how you do it. Put yourself in a position of power. Empower yourself, especially when you got the paper. If you got the paper, man, put yourself in a position of power. I know, certain environment, you don't want to go to court, fine. Go anyway. Get used to it. When you got money, you need to get used to having the law on your side. Because the more money you get, the more people that are against you and might try to take advantage of you, you're going to need the law on your side. So get used to it. And we ain't even talking about, man, calling the people. We talking about going to court. We talking about standing in front of the judge, man, going in there saying, look, man, I want my daughter. She's making it hard for me. I can't see my daughter. There is no reason that a man should be dealing with this because you don't have to. You don't have to. And we can spend $200,000-$300,000 on the car. We can spend $40,000, $50,000 in the courtroom to give ourselves power. Because that car don't give you no power. That $40,000, $50,000 put you in a position of power. And you know what happens when you put yourself in a position of power? You feel more powerful in the rest of your life. Power trickles down, boy. Power is like water. It floods your whole life. You pour 1 gallon of power into your life, boy, flood everywhere. You got a pint over there, a cup over there, 2 tablespoons over there. You got water everywhere in your life. It just flood into your life and make you a more powerful individual. But you got to be willing to do it. And you can't be worrying about, well, it's going to look bad. What my daughter going to think about? Who cares what your child think, man? Your child is a child. Let me tell y'all something. Man, nobody give a damn what a kid think. We're adults. We handling adult situations. We doing what's best for the child because the child don't know what's best for them. That's our job. And so You got to focus on a few aspects of the situation you can control. What you can control is you can control whether you go and fight for custody. You can control that. If you're taking care of a child, bro, go fight for custody. That's what you got to do. Now, especially if you're in a place like ATL, let's say you're in ATL. If you're in ATL, you don't even have no rights to the child. That's paperwork you got to file to have right. Even if you're paying child support, you don't have no visitation right, you don't have no custody rights, you don't have no nothing. That's a piece of paper you got to go file in the county that your baby mama live in. But you don't know that if you don't lawyer up. Let me tell you something. A word to the wise. Any situation you're in your life where the other side, not just in your situation, but generally in these situations, the other side has a tendency to want to go to court, you should be lawyered up. You should have a lawyer on retainer, man. You should have a lawyer on retainer, not just to defend yourself, just in case you want to hit them up and say, hey, man, let's go put this in motion. You shouldn't have to go find a lawyer at the last minute. You should already have a lawyer and attorney. You understand? Defense attorney, family court attorney. Got to have them on file. Either have them on file or have them on speed dial or both. And many men don't do that because we would rather deal with the situation through emotion and believe that somebody else who has the opportunity to benefit from a situation is going to not take that benefit to be fair to us. Come on, man. We don't live in that world. We don't live in a world where everybody going to be fair. Everybody just want to see you win. We don't live in that world. We live in a world where every dog want to eat your meal if you turn your back. MPI, appreciate the 5 bombs. I remember when I went into the closet, prayed to God, cried about it, and let it go. It became much easier to deal with it after that. Man, you got whatever we have to do to let it go, man. We got to do it. Sneaky Black, appreciate the dime. My son, mom tried to do this. I had to send money and cut both of them off to maintain my peace of mind. She eventually stopped the BS, understands in my will, no way. That's what you have to do, man. That's what you have to do. You have to. I mean, you got to do what you got to do because you have to protect your energy. Self-preservation is the number one law of the land, homie. It's the number one law of the land. You got to preserve yourself. You got to protect yourself from these type of situations. Devontae, appreciate the dime. Long time viewer, first time catching live. Shout out to the most thorough on the red pill side of the game. Salute to you, bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate you coming through, man. Glad you was able to catch us. Shaw, what's good, homie? Doc, with you being the alpha daughter, our men who dare your son, mom, intimidated by you. A lot of men bow down and become fans of the previous dude. Nah, see, here what you got to understand, man. Like, I don't deal with women who men don't want a wife. You know what I'm saying? I just ain't finna do no legal marriage. You understand? So my son, mom is married. Like, dude, I look, when I first caught wind of the dude before they even tied the knot, man, I went and had a talk with him. I said, look at here, bro. I'd asked my son about you. He said you're thorough with him. You know, let's keep it that way. We don't have no issues, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I let him know, man, that I know you could have came in and did whatever you wanted to do because you ain't know how we're going to turn out. You know, you ain't know how we're going to respond and then like that. But I'm glad you chose to do it that way, man. So everything good because I don't have no desire for your brow. I don't have no desire for it. And so once we had that conversation, everything was cool. I mean, we ain't talking no more after that. We ain't homies or buddies or no shit like that. But I just had to put it on the table. Here's this. The only concern I have is this, because it is my job to protect that boy. You understand? It's my job to provide and protect. But here's the thing. You know there's always going to be some inclination, there's going to be some jealousy there. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be some jealousy there. I'm me. Shit, listen, if I was somebody else and I was with somebody's son, mom, and he was me, he would be OA, hell yeah, I'd be jealous. I would. I'd be like, wait a minute, you and BOA ain't got nothing going on. I'd always be wondering that. Especially when I got wind of how icy BOA is, but hell yeah, I'd be like that. But I made it my point to let that dude know you ain't got no worries about me. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about me even joking about no bullshit, homie. You ain't got to worry about me at all. I don't even play those games. So when it comes down to it, man, I don't want a man to be intimidated by me. I just want a man to know that if these things right here happen, they're gonna be a problem. It ain't about intimidation. It's about having a man-to-man talk with a man and understanding that this is how it need to be. After that, bro, I don't care. I really don't care what happens otherwise. And see, here's what you got to do. You got to stop jumping into, you got to stop trying to run interference. A lot of time you have guys that don't want the woman to be with nobody else. So they keep playing close enough, keep playing close enough to keep somebody from coming in. And then they want to keep, they want to keep falling back. They play in, but then they don't want to get serious. They just don't want nobody else to get in. Me, man, once I'm done with the situation, I don't care what the woman does, to be honest with you. I don't care what the woman does. It don't even matter to me one bit. Like I frankly don't care. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care what a woman does when I'm with her, man. I just don't have that capacity. I don't have that capacity to care. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could call it a flaw or whatever you want to call it. I just don't have that capacity to care. I don't have it. I've tried to. I just don't have it. I don't have that capacity to care about what a woman does, because why worry about what a woman does when whatever she does, you just say, okay, she did that. I can't believe you did that. I ain't gonna never say that about nothing a woman does. So why concern myself with something I don't care about because I know anything's possible? Like, to concern yourself with that is to be like saying, well, I gotta make sure that she's who I thought she was. Man, that don't make sense. So to not get sidetracked, let's listen to Steven Jackson, man.
Take a look at this.
I have kids by 5 women, right? I take responsibility for laying down with them, making baby with them, making babies with them and all that. I take full responsibility. You know what I'm saying? But 3 of them, I regret even knowing. Paid millions and millions and millions of dollars in child support. You know what I'm saying? And still don't see my kids. At 42, my kids in high school and in college. But peep this out. I'm saying this to say, find one woman, love her, have kids with her, and build your family. Because having kids by multiple women can destroy your life. I've been having 3 out of my 5 trying to destroy my life since the beginning of time.
What I was just saying earlier, the decisions you make are going to affect you, whether positively or negatively. They are going to affect you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. And I don't care what nobody tell you. You make a decision, there's going to be a consequence, repercussion to that decision.
In the time, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I paid millions in child support and still don't see my kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you this to.
But now, and I want you to understand. I want y'all to listen to what he said. I pay millions in child support and still don't see my kids. If you got millions to pay in child support, you got millions to get you a lawyer and put the pressure on these bras. See, I don't get this. I don't get why, boy, money talk. Let me tell you something. Money talk. If you got millions of dollars to pay child support, you got millions of dollars to get some straightness on this entire situation. But don't nobody want to go to court. Everybody, well, man, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna go to court. I ain't gonna do that. Boy, it ain't about going to court. It's about doing what you gotta do to take power. You know how powerless this is to say I pay $1 million in child support for millions of dollars. I still don't get to see my children. Why? Why are you letting the woman dominate you like that? Why are you letting the woman dominate you like that? If you'd have paid $5 million in child support, boy, 2.5 could have went to court and got you custody. At least joint custody. See, I don't get it why men act like something wrong with empowering yourself. You pay taxes for these services. You might well use them. I don't get it, man. Craig Watkins, welcome to the Alpha Family, welcome to the Green Label Gang. Chosen One Music said, man, mine left the state. All I can do is wait till you show back up, Doc. Be messing me about getting back together and never nothing about my kid. Man, let me tell you something, bro. And it's real talk. For me, what y'all gotta understand is this. My son about to be a teenager. I talk directly to him. You understand? Like I don't even have a reason to talk to another man's wife. Like I don't want to talk to another man's wife under no circumstances. So that was a discussion we had though. Like by time she got with somebody else and led to this marriage, man, me and my son was already talking one-on-one. So I just talked to my son. My son is the intermediary. Whatever needs to be said, my son's the intermediary. I don't want to talk to another man, old lady. I just don't want to. So here's the thing. It's not that I care. It's just the fact that I'm not finna be conversing with another dude's wife. I'm not. Unless it's absolutely necessary, and it's just not necessary because I can just talk to my son. You understand what I'm saying? So with me, boy, that left the state thing, boy, let me tell you something. The whole situation just would have became a check to me. It just became a check. Because here's the thing about emotional attachment. Once you master your emotions, then you can detach them when you need to if they're attached. You understand? But if you learn to start doing things from a reasonable, logical, prudent perspective, you don't have to worry about the emotional attachment that keeps you engaged in the situation when it's no longer benefiting you. So let's keep listening to Steven, man.
To tell you to be smarter, bro. Don't make the same mistakes I made. Find you one woman, love her, and have kids by her. Because having kids by multiple women can destroy your life, bro. Because a bit of baby mama ruins black men just as much as the police or just as much as anybody. Okay? They won't say that. And of course, women won't say that because it's majority of them. But fellas, we got to be smarter. Okay? We got to be smarter.
See, this whole thing about blaming the woman. Ramil say this all the time: blame, shame, and explain. Like blaming the woman for this. Come on, bro. Steven Jackson, man, that boy salt and pepper than the food. That boy more salt and pepper than Doc. He know this. I don't want to hear this from no dude. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this about how a woman destroyed your life. Because how can a woman destroy your life? How can she do it without you being emotionally attached to something? So you got to kill the emotional attachment. I get it. He was emotionally attached to the situation. But this is the same guy who was about to marry a woman who wouldn't sign a prenup. After that, I wouldn't have never married any woman. He messed around, married a woman anyway. So the emotional needs, the emotional neediness. So don't whatever he's saying, I want you to stay out of your feelings. He telling you get in your feelings. Hell, one woman, love her, fall in love with her. Hell, you're turning about oh. What I am telling you is this right here. First, decide at what point in life you even want to have children. To be honest with you, most of us shouldn't be having children until we in our 30s and 40s. Until we've already played the game and already got master of our emotions. You got to become the most out version of yourself before you're able to dominate these situations the way you need to. You can't be a beta male, simp mangina, and be out here having children, even by your wife. It don't matter. You're going to be weak in this situation. This is about putting yourself in a position of power as a man in every situation you're in. And you can't do that if you're caught up in your emotion. Your cutoff game is gone if you're caught up in your emotions. Before you can cut somebody off, you got to cut your own emotions off first. Let's finish listening to Steve.
Smarter. I don't have problems with my kids' mothers unless they done ran out of money. It's just facts, bro. It's just facts. But be smarter. Make a better decision. Don't be running around willy-nilly like I was doing and all that. And, try to find your relationship and stay in that one, bro, because I'm telling you, you have a life of pain and misery and unnecessary stress, and it ain't nothing you doing.
Let me tell y'all something, man. This is the wrong message. I get it. This is what the beta male simp mangina message is going to be. Oh, I did so bad with so many women. I should have just got one. No, what you should have did is prioritize your damn life and not worry about women. Don't worry about women if your life ain't together. Because let me tell you what happens. During the process of getting your life together, you become more mature. You become more patient. You become more understanding. You become wiser. And you become less likely to have somebody get over on you because you're emotionally attached. You got to learn how to dominate yourself. Then you can dominate your life. So you cannot be out here worrying about coming straight out into the world. You ain't even situated yet. Because just because Stephen A. Jefferson in the NBA don't mean he was situated. You still got to mature as a man, not just financially situated. You got to mature as a man. You have to become the most alpha version of yourself in order to be able to dominate every situation you're in. You have to do that. There's no other way around it. You have to do it. MPI, I remember my daughter's mom boyfriend, now husband, asked me why I put myself on support. I told him why, he didn't believe me. And you know, with me, man, if I had to, I would. But I mean, we just have an understanding where I just take care of my seed. You know what I'm saying? But if I had to, I would. I just haven't had to do that. I haven't had to do it. But if I had to, I would. I do that before. I jump through some hoops and do all that. Old and Blue, give your heart to. Hey, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, and you might not like this. You might unsubscribe from the channel, but we don't drink the Jesus juice over here, man. We go straight to the Most High, man. We direct the sins of the children of Israel, man. We don't drink the Jesus juice, so we give our heart to God. You know, not we won't do that other stuff, man. You know, and let's talk about this just for a brief, man. Y'all don't go nowhere. But if you read the man word, he said himself, don't give me the glory, give it to my Father. Don't give me your heart, don't give me your nothing. Don't give me the props, don't give me nothing. I'm just here doing a job. Give it to the man who sent me. And then guys still say, okay, give your heart. No, man, listen, man, I deal with the Most High. I deal with the God of Israel, bro. So, but I get your point. Let's just say like this. Let's just say, give your heart to God. Let's say it like that. Let's just agree that we gonna give our heart to God. You give your heart to God, man, then you don't have anything left. You don't have anything left to give anyone. And here's what I do, man. I say give all your love to the Most High. You give your love to God, and then let him give it to the people that need it. Anybody in your life who don't feel love, if they don't feel it, that's because God don't want them to feel it. Let God take care of love for you. He an expert at that. He know how to give it. He know how to cut it off. He know how to reward people with it. He know how to punish people by taking it. Let God handle his thing, and you just focus on being the most out version of yourself. He's an expert on that. I don't try to do what experts do. Somebody told me one time, how you going to be alpha and you don't know how to snake a toilet? I say, how you going to be alpha and you can't afford to pay somebody like you to snake a toilet? I'm not finna snake no toilet. I'm going to pay somebody like you to come snake it. I'm not finna pour no concrete slab. I'm going to pay somebody. After I buy this big plot of land, I'm going to pay somebody like you to lay it. Everybody ain't got to be able to do everything. Fool, if everybody could do everything, how you going to make money doing everything? But these are the type of things guys do. Guys do, man, let me tell you something. Guys are so feminine today that they will throw shame and language at you about anything. About anything. And I just look at it and I say, man, so we're all supposed to be able to do the same things? LeBron can say, how you going to be alpha and you can't dominate in sports? You suck at sports. Now, if you ain't good at no sport, a lot of guys will say, man, you can't be alpha if you ain't good at no sport. You ain't got no type of physical presence about you. Then I heard some guy come in and say, Bill Gates is alpha. It's alpha. The bottom line is, that's why we don't talk about who's alpha and who's not alpha. We talk about becoming the most alpha version of yourself. Is that going to make you more alpha than such and such, more alpha than such and such, or less alpha? We don't care, because we're not comparing ourselves to them. We're talking about you be the most alpha version of yourself. There is no benchmark you got to meet. We just take these principles of making ourselves the most alpha version and apply them to our life and build and build and build and get stronger and stronger and more confident and more competent. And that's what we're here to do. We're not here to compare ourselves. Oh, I'm more alpha than you. Oh, no, you're not an alpha. You're an alpha. None of us is alpha. We're just striving to be the most alpha version of ourselves. That's all we're doing. Striving to become the most alpha version of you. Not to become an alpha male. Become the most alpha version of you. That's all, man. Pesha Boomin, appreciate the time, man. You hit the nail on the head. Men think they're wrong for empowering themselves. Find that a lot in the community. Alphas on the other hand, understand the importance, benefits, joy of elevation. God bless. Salute. That's real talk, bro. See, it's about understanding how to encompass joy in your life as a man. And as for us as men, we know joy comes from power. But what is power? It's control. Control what? Your life. I don't have to control the world. People say, well, how you going to control something and you don't make no laws and you don't do that? I don't care nothing about that. I don't care about who make the laws. When I look at the laws, I don't have a problem with them. I don't have a problem with a law saying, okay, you can't be DUI. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with you not being able to operate machinery when you're under the influence. Who has a problem with that? What's the problem with that? I don't have a problem with you not with there being a law saying you can't be a felon in possession of a handgun. I don't have a problem with that. Now, I do think it should be limited to violent crimes. But if you don't have that, man, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't even have a problem paying my share of taxes. I don't have a problem with none of that. I don't have a problem with the laws. That's not what control is about. Control is about your stretch of land. Do you control it? When you wake up every day, do you wake up when you get ready to wake up? Do you wake up when somebody tell you to wake up? Does your day start with control or not? How you start your day is how you'll finish it. If you control when you wake up, I can promise you controlling the rest of your day. I promise you controlling the rest of your day. If you every morning you got to wake up by an alarm clock, if you got to wake up by an alarm clock every day, not by choice, if you have to wake up by an alarm clock every day, you ain't controlling what time you wake up. I promise you ain't controlling your life. Control starts, man, when you first wake up in the morning. Who's controlling your day? When you first start working in the morning, when you first start doing your work, who controls what time you got to start? Do you punch a clock? If you punch a clock, somebody else controlling it. You could be making plenty of money, but you're not in control. This is about controlling yourself. It ain't about controlling the world. Most men don't even control themselves. Humble Lion, appreciate the dub. I studied my baby mom. I'll have to deal with her for a while, so I got in her head real good. I'm always a couple steps ahead of her. I talk her out of most BS to other people, put in her head, so we cool. No, I mean, however you need to do for your situation, bro, that's what it's about. It's about us being individual men, handling the things we need to handle as individual men. You're right, Doc. I wish we were on the same page, but I did it to establish some court order visitation. That still didn't work. I moved on. Yeah, I get you, bro. Like I just said, man, we got to do what's best for our situation. In my situation, what works for me is the way I got it set up. In your situation, what works for you is the way you got it set up. So for me, I think a lot of it comes from knowing who you're aligning yourself with in the first place. Let's finish up Steven Jackson.
It's the bitterness of another person, okay? So continue to love your kids and do whatever. If you do have kids, love them just as you were in a great relationship with their mom. But if you don't have kids, bro, take your time. Find you one woman, settle down and have kids and do it the right way. Because I'm telling you, the quickest way and the fastest way for a demise of a black man, especially.
All right, let's get off that, man, because he about to say some foolishness. I don't buy into that. You know what I'm saying? That for me, I just understand that as a man, everything you do as a man has to be traced back to your own decision. So if you feel like somebody you're dealing with has destroyed your life, you chose to deal with them. The choice was yours. As a man, you have a choice. And even if you're gonna be intimate with a woman, you have a choice if you're gonna impregnate that woman. I know I said earlier, well, you can't decide, you can't, but I'm talking about from a woman's perspective. A woman can't say, well, you can't tell me to have this baby and then turn around and blame you because she got pregnant. But for us, we know the truth. We know that, yes, it's a decision you make to impregnate a woman. Like there's something you have to do as a man in order for her to get pregnant. I don't care what she wants. You have to determine if that thing is going to happen that she can get pregnant. That's you. But now in this society, what they say is, well, you shouldn't be able to tell me when I can have this child, if I should have it, if I shouldn't. Okay, well, if you have one and then I don't take care of it, don't blame me. So you can't have both sides. You can't say, no, he's not taking care of his kid. Then turn around and say, well, he didn't want no kid, but I wanted one, and he can't tell me not to have it. Okay, the man told you he didn't want no kid. Then how I view it. If that man told you he didn't want no kid, you had one anyway, and he don't want nothing to do with the kid, you can't get mad. The man told you he didn't want no kid with you. And I think everybody's responsible. So she's responsible for that result. Now, he's still responsible for the fact that there is a kid out there and there's a woman who could pursue him for child support and all that because he did have one, even though he didn't want to. Everybody needs to be more responsible. Don't do things that you don't want to do. If you know you don't want no kid, how you got somebody pregnant? If a woman knows she don't want no kid, why is she pregnant? Help me understand this. If anybody in the world, man, if you don't want no kid, why you got a kid? I don't get it. I don't get it. Help me understand, man. If you don't want to do no time, why is you out here doing crimes, man? Come on. How you gonna get jammed up, man, then tell on somebody, man? Come on, man. You knew you ain't want when you tell on somebody, boy, when you doing a crime and you get jammed up and you tell on somebody, you know you ain't want to go to prison. Why you out there doing stuff that gonna put you in prison, man? It's decision time, man. Make a decision as a man. Red Stick 500, appreciate the time. 1 John 2:15, live by, die by all day, fam. Okay. Appreciate you, man. Most official, welcome to the Alpha Family, welcome to the Green Label Gang. All right. So another thing I want to say about this is this, man. And this is gonna hurt some men's feeling. I remember Common made a song and he said, and Common grew up without his dad. So when you grow up without your dad, you have a certain outlook on being a father, which makes you more susceptible to be used by women who don't want you for anything but the financial benefits you provide for her having a child with you. But he said, weekend visits and buying J's don't make you a father. Well, let me tell you something. To Common and other guys who believe that type of foolishness, and I want you to remember this. You can't be an effective father if you're absent. If the child doesn't live with you, you're automatically rendered an ineffective father. Fatherhood is an everyday thing. That child deals with something every day. That child needs to be taught something every day. That child has lessons to learn every day. That's why children who don't have their fathers in their lives end up in such emotionally defunct state, in such a spiritually defunct state, in such a financially defunct state, in such a mentally defunct state. Because fatherhood is an everyday thing. So if you're an absent father, let's replace absent with ineffective. If you're absent, you're ineffective. If you don't show up at work, you're ineffective that day. If you don't show up at practice, you're ineffective that day. If you don't show up at church, for those of you who go, you're ineffective that day. You are ineffective that day. And so whatever you're doing, if you're not there, you can't be effective. And raising a child ain't something you can do remotely. You can't be a virtual father, homie. So that's the main part. Men be out here trying to be like an in-home father when you're out of the home. You can't do it. You can't do it. That's why the stepdad needs to step into the situation as far as a woman is concerned. That's why she accepts a stepdad. No matter how hard you go, you can't be an effective father if you're absent. You can't, dog. And it's just that thing. That's just the way it is. No matter what anyone tells you, you can listen to whoever you want to listen to, but I'm telling you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. It's impossible to be an effective father if you're absent, because you just can't put in the time necessary to teach that child. Anytime you're not the most important influence or the most respected influence or just the biggest influence on a child every day, you're an ineffective father. Let's be honest. That's just the way it is. You know, here's the thing. You can't develop the strong bond, the strong fatherhood bond with your child that you need to with the mother in control. She's not going to allow that. One thing that a mother wants, and no mother can deny this, no mother who cares about her children can deny this. She wants to have a stronger bond with the children than you do if you're an absent father, if you're not in the household with the child, if you're an ineffective father, if you're not there. She wants to have a stronger bond with your child than you do, or children. She wants to have a stronger bond than you do. And whatever she has to do, she's going to do that. On some occasions, it means that she got to tear you down. She got to talk bad on you. See, for a woman who ain't really got nothing going on herself, all she can do is tear you down and make you look worse. A woman who got things going on, That there's three things that a woman would do to have a tighter bond with children. You always say yes, get them whatever they want, and never force the visitation time. And I've seen this several times throughout my life, man, where the visitation time just isn't forced. Well, she don't want to come this week. And I'm like, what you mean? I don't care what she want to do. This is my time. Well, I ain't gonna force her to come, blah, blah, blah. And then dude won't go to court and hold her in contempt. If that was my situation, we finna go to court. You finna be in contempt. Man, listen, man. She talking about the child don't want to do this. She letting the child make decision over what the court already ordered. She should be held in contempt. And the child should stay with me in the meantime. That's what I would do. But men ain't gonna do that. Men are too readily dominated by their baby mama because they've been torn down and beaten down so much emotionally by being raised by a single mom. There's so much emotional damage done because a single mom is emotionally needy. So she pulls the mother's son emotion out you. She pulls the son husband emotion out you. She pulls the protector emotion out you. She pulls the provider emotion out you. She pulls a whole bunch of things. So when guys ask me, man, you gonna buy your mama a house? No. Why would I do that? Let me tell you something. That's the benefit of either deciding you're gonna be one of them career chasing women who don't need no man, or you're gonna be a woman who's gonna be the type of woman who a husband would want. Otherwise, you don't need no house. A single woman don't deserve no house. Unless she buy it for herself. What a single woman gonna do with a house? Come on, man. We ain't playing that game out here. And here's another thing. And this one's gonna hurt some feelings too. If her ultimate desire is to be a family with you and your child, and you don't want that, she's gonna do everything in her power, man, to make it hard for you unless you acquiesce to her desires and her demands to be a family. You're gonna have to either be a part-time family, you're gonna have to do some. You're gonna have to act like y'all a family, you're gonna have to do some. And if you got that type of woman, the only thing you can do with that type of woman is just put some space between y'all, man, and make sure you provide financially. Hopefully, most times if you're in a situation with an older child, you can just have a direct line to that child. But that bond has to be built when that child is young. So the reason my son and I can have a conversation because I've always been in my son's life. He's, from the time he was 7, he was in the house with me every day. Until he was 7, rather. Until he was 7, he was in the house with me every day. So that bond is already established. And, at some point in the near future, he's gonna make the transition. He's gonna live with me full time. But that's already been in the works. So I don't even run too much interference right now. I ain't really trying to. It ain't no competition with me because you can't compete with a mother when you're a father. A father is a totally different position. So you can't allow a woman to pull you into competition. And a lot of times that's what happens in these situations. These guys get pulled into a competition with the woman. And I say, compete with what? What grounds are we competing on? There are no grounds to compete on. And here's what I'm gonna tell you. To keep yourself out of a situation like this, and this is the toughest pill. This is toughest pill. Share your finances freely, but not your feelings. Share your finances freely, but not your feelings. Now, I don't mean just go crazy and be blowing money, but take care of your children, man. Take care of them, provide for them. Provide everything. Provide everything. But keep your feelings to yourself. Keep your feelings to yourself. Jada said a long time ago, man, Jada Kiss, live for your kids, die for yourself. That was deep. It didn't get a whole lot of press or a whole lot of talk about because wasn't no social media popping like that back then. But that's a very deep line. Live for your kids, die for yourself. Yes, live to build yourself financially so you can be a provider and you can be in a position to have the time necessary to lead and instruct and develop your children, develop your sons and the young men, develop your daughters and the young women. But die for yourself. Which in mental and emotional translation means don't let no situation with no woman and no child drive you crazy, boy. Don't do it. And in order to not do that, you got to be in control of your emotions. And here's another thing: don't hit nothing raw. Why is y'all still out here, man, having unprotected intimacy, man, with women that y'all don't even want? Help me understand that. Dude don't even want no kid, man. I have not only do you not want no kid, you don't even want the woman. Y'all have an unprotected sex with the woman. Now you got a kid. Well, you got a kid you don't want with a woman you don't want. That's a recipe for disaster, homie. That's a recipe for disaster. Recipe for disaster. Ali Lewis, appreciate the 5-bone DOA. Go against him, you'll be DOA. Salute, bro. Salute. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being in the joint. Red Stick 500. I can't respect no man that'll abandon their seed regardless how the baby mom feel. At least be there for your child, so especially if you have a son. I don't know what they do to my man. If you're absent parent, you already abandoned, dude. If you ain't in the house with the child, you abandoned them already. And that's the problem. When you hear certain guys talk, you have to understand, man, that if you were raised by a single mom, you have no concept of what fatherhood means because you didn't have a father. And we just got to be honest about that. If you've never had something, you don't know what. If nobody ever taught you something, you have no idea what that thing entails. And also, if you did something, it's kind of like I heard an example, man. I'll give you a perfect example. Charles Oakley said Giannis would be a bench rider in the old NBA. And a lot of people said, Giannis, a bench rider? Come on, man. Giannis wouldn't be a bench rider. Giannis wouldn't be a superstar in the old NBA. Because in the old NBA, all that footwork and spinning and doing all that, them boy would knock you out the air, and sometimes it wouldn't get called. So you got to be a show enough tough joker. And we just in this NBA, we can't tell who tough. So errors mean something. So the reality of the scenario is when you're talking about abandoning, if you're not in the household, you've already abandoned. Like that's abandonment. And here's the thing. If you're not with the woman, let's just keep it a buck. If we're going to talk about that, then we got to look at the situation, bro. If you calling a woman baby mama, you already abandoned the situation. If you're a baby daddy, you're not in the situation. All you can do is provide for the kid. Now, I'm with you. If you don't even provide for your kid, bro, I'm going to be honest with you, man. And I'm going to be honest with you. What that cat name, man? To Red Stick Point. I know guys who have the money and won't take care of their kids. Now, if you had a spell in life where, now granted, if you broke, you shouldn't have no kid anyway. But if you do, and you're just trying to figure out how to get your money right, that's something. But I know guys, man, who have the money, still don't take care of their kids, man. Or they do the bare minimum. The bare minimum. The bare minimum meaning not enough. And I know guys who do that. So for those guys, yeah, man, those guys, they're scum. They're scum of the earth. But if you can't control yourself enough to not hit anything raw, you better keep your wee-wee in your trousers, homie. Keep your wee-wee in your trousers. Don't let him out. Don't let him out. Now, I'll say this to y'all, man. And you have to understand the quality and type of woman that you have. If you have an average woman, then never have an expectation of her to be anything more than the average woman. That's all she can be. You can't make her be something else. So if you got a hood chick, you can't expect her to be classy. She's going to deal with you like a hood chick, so you got to deal with her like you're dealing with a hood chick. And if you have a woman that's out there living the fast life, how you going to give her a slow life? Motherhood is a slow life. That's why if you take a woman that's living the fast life, she has a child, she keep living the fast life. Childhood doesn't slow down a woman who's living the fast life unless she's just out there trying to fit in. Now, there are some women out there who fake like they live in a fast life trying to fit in, and you'll see that when the slowdown comes, they slow down and start living the life they were intended to live, but that's rare. Most women who live the fast life because they want to live a fast life, and having a child ain't gonna slow them down. There are women out here who lack love, who lack self-affection, who lack all of that, and they need that child. They want that child so they can have something to love. Then they realize that don't work. That's why you see a woman, she'll have another child. That don't work. She'll have another child. That don't work. Did a video the other day, man. Guy talking about, man, his wife that he just married, man, got 4 kids, 4 baby daddies, and he bragging about it. Why? Because he doesn't understand that he still ain't gonna be enough for that woman. If 4 kids by 4 men wasn't enough, man, he ain't gonna be enough either. There's sometimes in a situation where a woman is too emotionally needy, and then there are other times where the man is too emotionally giving. And when you're in that situation, you're liable to do whatever a woman wants you to do, whether it's beneficial to you or not. And conversely, now, you never accept that the woman you have is anything more than what she presents herself as, unless she earns that special consideration through her continued proof of action that she has developed into something else, or that she is truly something else, and she was just playing a role. You know what that takes? Time. That's why when guys be talking about, man, they doing all these fast relationship, man, we met 2 months ago, man, now we living together, and boy, let me tell you something. How you met a woman 2 months ago and y'all living together? 2 years. Here's another thing that I tell y'all. Never let a woman set the rules of engagement or the regulations of interaction between you and her. I don't care if it's your wife. I don't care if it's your mama. I don't care if it's your baby mama. I don't care if it's your auntie. I don't care if it's your grandmama. No woman in my life sets the rules of engagement or the regulations of the interaction between me and her. No woman. If I can't control that interaction, I just ain't gonna deal with that woman. I don't trust a woman's ability to control anything. And so I'm not gonna put myself in a position where I'm allowing a woman to control something. That doesn't make sense. It's foolish. It's foolish. It's fruitless. Doesn't make sense. Never will make sense. Black Cobra Ninja 5. Appreciate the Fit the Bone co-sponsorship of the show, man. Salute to you. Appreciate you being in the joint. Now, I'll tell y'all this, man. A lot of times in these situations, you just got to have the intestinal fortitude to be who it is you want to be. And if that's a man who dominates his life, you can't compromise that. Listen, it's never going to be a fulfilling position to compromise that. It never will. Olin Blue, appreciate the dub. Respect. Salute to you, bro. Salute. It's never going to pan out to anything, man. And here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Everything a woman does is either going to be emotional or devotional. And I say that is either going to be based on her emotion, which changes with the wind, or it's going to be based on her devotion to herself and her own satisfaction. This isn't something I'm making up. This is an actual fact. It really can't be denied. There's some things that can be denied, but that can't. And I just say this, man. Moving forward, just stop having unprotected intimacy, man. Just even if you've got a wife, man. Unless y'all actively, man, trying to have a kid, don't do it, man. Because at some point, if you haven't unprotected intimacy with a woman, man, at some point, man, she's gonna get knocked up. She's gonna have a baby at some point. She's gonna get pregnant. You can't keep trusting your pull-out game. That don't make no sense. We grown men. Grown man ain't got no being trusting his pull-out game, man. It just doesn't make sense to do that. It doesn't make sense to do that. So I wouldn't advise anyone to do it. I wouldn't do it. It don't make sense. Some things just don't make sense. And tomorrow, man, we'll talk about how to tell if you turning a harlot into a housewife. Because that's what happens a lot of times. A lot of times what men do is turn a harlot into a housewife. And that's just not something you can benefit from. Matter of fact, there's absolutely no benefit in that. None of us benefits from that. None of us benefits from that at all. And the truth of the situation is this. A lot of times what we have to understand in this particular society that the quality of woman that you're going to meet most times, women don't even want the life that men want to give them. Women don't want that life. The average woman doesn't want that life. She don't want to be in no committed relationship with you, man. She don't want to be like, even if she wants to have a kid, she don't want to have a kid and like y'all just be a family forever. Like we don't live in that world anymore. And I think the problem is that many men think we do. Or even if you understand we don't live in that world, you think we live in a world where a woman's gonna try to make something work with you. No, she's not. She's not gonna make something work with you. She wants to be in power. Women have finally realized the power that men experience being men. And they want some of that power. I don't blame them. Power is a fun thing. It's a wonderful thing. And the bottom line is, if you need to look for evidence, look no further. Look no further than how good they are at getting married, but how they suck at staying married. You need to look no further than that. You need to look no further than that. Red stick, no situation the same, fam. Anytime better than no time. Everything not black and white. Boo-hoo gray areas. Man, bro, I ain't finna keep talking about that. I mean, every situation is what it is, man. I mean, here's the thing. First of all, nobody really cares what any other man respects. We all individual men. You think anybody in here cares what I respect about them or what you respect? We don't. We men. We do what we have to do in our own lives. And who, as a man, do you really care what other men think about you? No. Who cares? If we ain't talking about your dad, somebody like, who cares? Every man got to do what he got to do for himself. Every man got to do what he do for himself. And let me tell you something right now. That stuff you talking right there, boy, that don't apply to every situation. So take your own advice. That don't apply to every situation. That any time is better than no time. Nah, bro, any time is not better than no time. If the only time you get is time to go take a kid to a park or to an amusement park or buy him some, well, that time ain't valuable. If you're not splitting custody, bro, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? If you're not splitting custody, it don't matter. I know guys who had that. They didn't have the time with their dad I had with my dad. They didn't live with their dad from the time they were 12. My parents were together till I was 7. They had a split. I moved in with my dad when I was 12. So for 5 years of my life, that's the only time I didn't have my dad. And I'm just telling you what the deal is, that there were other guys who grew up with me who had that every now and then time they dad to pop up. Man, dude turned out terrible. They're some of the most emotional dudes I know. Because whatever happens, you can't supplant the femininity that you get from being raised by a single mom if your dad just popping up from time to time and all he can do is buy you stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one of those things, man, where, yeah, every situation is different. But, I mean, you the one who came in here saying, man, you can't respect no man. I can't respect no man who abandons that situation. So here you go right here. I can't respect no man that'll abandon their seed regardless of how the baby mama feel. So you just made it an all-in situation. Then you come back, man, talking about no situation the same. Man, you all over the place, dude. I agree, no situation the same, but I mean, you don't want to hear making, exclamations of absolution. So no situation, you don't know what a man's situation is. And it ain't about how the broad feel. It's about if the situation worked for you or not. Because here's the thing that we got to remember. It ain't your job as a man to do everything in your power to fix a situation that a woman trying to mess up. If you're trying to fix a situation that a woman trying to mess up purposely, you're a beta male simp mangina. You're a do boy. I mean, that's what's happening in situations like this. Situations like what Steve Jackson talk about. Situations Stephen like with situations that happen with Trey. These guys got to get out of the habit of being real in every situation, but then turn around and being soft when it comes to the woman. It's not your job to fix a situation that the woman is intentionally trying to make difficult for you. That ain't abandoning the situation. That's not letting a woman run your life. And that's what you got to do. You got to value yourself so much that there is nothing on earth that you would let somebody dog you out and run you through the ringer for. Nothing. There has to be nothing. And if there's anything, I don't care if it's your mama, your dad, your seed, your anything. If there's anything that you will let somebody dog you out about, then you need to check yourself. And I can't respect a man that can find anything on earth to let a woman run him through the ringer about. You can't do it. Zechariah 23, man, appreciate the fireball. Homie say, my daughter is 10 months and I have a son due in July. Me and my girl still together and she follows my lead, but this is invaluable information. Salute. That's the situation that a man should be in. Him and his girl still together and she follows his lead. At the very moment she don't follow your lead no more, you wasting time. Because if she not following your lead, she leading the situation, and so you following her lead. That makes no sense, boy. We don't do that. It's the Alphasphere, Jack. We don't play that game. And I'm telling you from just looking at these situations for years, man, in different states, different cities, different nationalities. If you don't dominate the interaction, if you can't dominate the interaction, then you are in a position of weakness. And here's the problem. If you got a son or a daughter and they see you stepping and fetching a kowtow to their mama, you're going to do more damage than you could ever do help. You can't even fix that damage. If you got a son and you see his mama talking to you absolutely nuts and you still trying to go along to get along, that boy ain't going to never get right. He ain't going to never get right. Because the one man he was supposed to be able to look at to teach him how to be masculine, he just saw that man get stepped on, man, by his old lady, by his old bird, by his mom. And if you got a daughter like that, she gonna see that. She gonna see how well that worked for her mom against you, and she gonna think that's the way you're supposed to deal with a man moving forward. So you got to put yourself in a situation where your job is to maintain your masculinity, so your son and daughter both will learn that from you, what that looks like, what that sounds like, what that interaction is. Because I promise you right now, I just took my son shopping. I bet he don't remember when I took him shopping 2 years ago. I bet next year he ain't gonna remember when I took him shopping this time. But I do have an overall interaction with my son. Where my son was with me until he was 7. But though he remembers those times, he remembered the things I taught him then. My son don't remember no times I spent with him, man, doing that like that. My son may remember when I took him to Disney World, but you know what? He don't remember nothing I talked to him at Disney World about. Because here's the thing. If your only time with your child is having fun, then you can't talk to a child while they're having fun. They ain't paying attention to you. They paying attention on having fun. So if every time you get your kid, you got to go do something fun or take them somewhere entertaining or do something like that with them, they're never going to have an interaction with you. You're going to be like a big ass kid to them. You be like a big kid to them. I don't play game with my son. I don't take my son nowhere to have fun and play game unless it's like a vacation. On vacation, yeah. But like me and my son, man, I'll get my son, man, and take him when my son have important things. When my son have doctor's appointment. When my son have dentist appointments. When my son have conferences at school. When my son have like those types of things, man. When it comes to business, there's an interaction with my son because I can always teach him something. I can always teach him how to use a credit card. I can always teach him something that's valuable to him. But man, all that fun stuff, man, I ain't no kid. I don't play ball with my son. I'm grown, dog. My son don't never need to look at me as his homie. We ain't homies. He need to look at me as his leader. as his guardian, as his God. That's how my son he look at me. He look at me as the one that he can turn to. And so I think a lot of men get into the habit of trying to be of taking what's left. If I can't get what I want in a situation, I don't want none of that shit. Now that's manhood and masculinity for you right there. If I can't get what I know is necessary for a situation, I'm not taking what's left. I ain't build myself up all this time, all the year, maybe taking no crumbs off nobody's table. You got to have a man mentality. You got to have a man mentality the way it's your way or no way. If it don't work my way, it ain't going to work no way because I ain't finna do it nobody else's way. I'll do it no way first. Why? Because I understand the value of my way or no way. I understand the value of controlling everything you can control in your life. And I think what Trey should do is go seek joint custody or full custody. I think that's the best thing for him to do in this situation because he's obviously, if a man is willing to travel to get his daughter like that, then that man wants to have his daughter. He wants to have time with her. And I think it's a shame that a man of his status, his caliber, a man of his success has to deal with this type of situation or feels like he does have to deal with it, but he doesn't. Go get that custody, homie. Put the pressure on the woman. Because here's the thing, a lot of times you put that custody pressure on the woman. Oh, she gonna start acquiescing to your demands because she finally see you ain't playing no more. She finally see you ain't playing no more. And once she see you ain't playing no more, she's either gonna get right or the situation gonna get her right anyway because you've taken steps. You've taken grown man, adult power steps. You've taken fatherhood steps to make the situation right. So that way you ain't got to worry about any time is better than no time. No, demand the time you want. Do what you got to do to get the time that's necessary. And then we don't have discussions about what little time. Can you imagine? You ain't gonna never hear a group of women having a discussion about any time they spend with their child is better than no time. Why? Because they get all the time. And they used to men just accepting any time is better than no time. Those types of mentalities are the mentalities that men have to do away with. Like that's a defeatist mentality. That's, well, whatever time the woman will give me, I'll take that time. That'll work fine for me, even if you want more time. Now, if that's all the time you want, cool, perfect situation. But if you want more time, you can't accept any time is better than no time. You got to go and fight and battle for the time you want. That's my whole point in this. You have to see what move you can make in order to become more powerful in the situation. You have to. And at the moment when you realize that there ain't nothing you can do, then okay, maybe you got to start looking at other stuff, but not before you exhaust every single possible measure of making it the way you know it should be, of making it the way you know it should be. Because you know that you need that time. That's why Trey is on this video. He know he need that time. That's why Rip is here saying, man, not Rip, but Steven. That's why Steph is here saying, man, I pay $1 million in child support, still can't see my kid. Because every man want to see his seeds. And if you got the money to spend on it, get up in them coats, man. Get up in them courts. Because I know if my situation wasn't going away, like spring break coming up, man, my son gonna be with me the entire spring break. We already know that. We've been planning this since almost last spring break. You know what I'm saying? This all spring break, that's me and him. It ain't nothing else that's gonna come up that's gonna stop that. Me and my son spring break, we gonna be on it. With the crappie we'll be biting, and me and my son gonna be out there on it every single day. I promise y'all. I'm probably gonna take the whole week off on y'all, man. Well, I might do the show. Might not be no regular content. Might do the show at 4 o'clock. We'll be done fishing by that time. Maybe we're gonna be out there every morning, man, at the crack of dawn. We're gonna be out there on the pond, man. We're gonna be doing it. We've been waiting on this. But if I didn't have it like that and I couldn't get it like that, then I'd automatically be in court, man, fighting to get it like that. Because that's how I want it. And I'm not going to accept, well, I can't have that time right there. I'll just take 3 o'clock that Thursday and take him to get some McDonald's. Hell no. I ain't gonna do that. And that's why I say guys have to stop acting like, if you don't, you're gonna end up just like this. You're gonna end up like this. You're gonna be just like Kanye in a packed arena. So, but I need you right back to me, baby. Oh, I need you right back to me, baby. That's what you're gonna be saying. Because it breaks you down so much that you can't recover like a masculine man. And that's just no way for any of us to be, man. That's just no way for any of us to be, man. And, the bottom line is this. In a society that rewards women for making it difficult for a man to be a father, and then blaming those same fathers when the result of single motherhood comes. You know what's crazy, bro? I want y'all to listen to this. A woman will do everything in her power to make it so difficult for you to be the type of father you know you need to be, that you just bow out and go do something else. You realize your mistake and you go create a family with a woman who ain't gonna do that. Now that same woman who's interfered and did all of that, when that boy turns out terribly, or when that girl turns out terribly, that woman will turn around and say, well, his daddy wasn't in his life, without telling the full story. That when the daddy was doing everything in the power to be in his life the way he need to be, you kept telling him, well, if you can't come over here and have dinner with us, then you can't sin. If I can't come to your house, he can't come either. I don't trust you around my daughter. You cheated on me with a younger woman. I don't trust you around her. Girl, 3 years old. You talking about you don't trust me because I cheated on you with a woman that was 28. These are the type of things that men deal with. And so when a man decides that, man, I'm not finna deal with this, I send this check. I ain't finna deal with this. Then the man goes on with his life and creates a situation with another woman. Here's what the woman said. You could go be with her and make a family with her when you got blah, blah, blah. No, I ain't make a family with her. I didn't make a family with her. We made a family. See, I didn't have to make a family with her. We just became a family. Somehow, magically, we just a family. I didn't have to make it. I didn't have to force it. I didn't have to coerce her. At some point, we as men have to accept that it is our responsibility to control these situations and to implement the my way or no way mantra into them. If you're not going to do that, then you have to accept that you're going to be in a position of being dominated by the woman in this scenario. And none of us should accept that. So, brothers, I appreciate y'all being in the building. Boy, look at that. We got the 2 hour tonight, boy. Look at boy, we hitting milestone. 2 hour show tonight, man. Top notch, man. Appreciate it. But the Red Stick 500, man, I mean, I see your point, but you just got to grow a little bit, man. You got to get a little bit more experience out here, because that mindset, you can't just put that all across the board, man. You understand what I'm saying? If a woman is driving a man insane, you need to abandon any situation, man, that's making you crazy, or if it make you weak. Your son don't need to see you in no situation where they mama controlling it. More damage than anything will be done at that point. So anyway, man, I appreciate y'all being in the joint, man. Let me run back through, man. I appreciate the homie Black Cobra Ninja. Appreciate the homie Aaron Murphy ripping at Beham. Appreciate the homie D Joseph 78. all the brothers with the major sponsorships of the show, man. Everybody else, man, I appreciate the super chat donation and new members. SJ3, my brother, I appreciate you being here riding out with me, man. It's always, it's always a blast, man. When I got the Snipe Squad on their ass, I appreciate it. Everybody else, man, let's keep grinding and growing, man. We'll be back in this joint tomorrow, man, with another amazing show. We'll also got some King Ray joint coming for y'all tomorrow as well, man. Y'all be looking for that. Couple of 5 pieces of content, man. We about to get back on the grind, man. You know what I'm saying? New year, new grind, new goals. Let's get it. I appreciate everybody being in the joint. Craig Watkins, appreciate you for the 5 bones. Canuck Buck on the way out, man. Big man up, man, like BOA. Preach that preach. Wish I had this when I was younger. Bro, you got it now when you're older so you can spread the word to the younger ones, man. A lot of things, man, we know now. We wish we had known then. But now what we can do, man, is do what wise men do and pass it on to the youngsters, man. Appreciate you being in the joint. Let's get ready to head out this thing, man. Listen, man, I don't care where you go. I don't care what you do. Over here in Alsfield, one thing is true. Y'all know what it is. AUBD. Peace. Seems like no matter what you do sometimes, your efforts go underappreciated or unappreciated, period. All we do, man, is try to give men the information they need to become the best version of themselves. No hate. We love women. We don't hate them. We just don't take no foolishness. And we can't be controlled by our lust. Those men can, but not us.
Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Simps claiming that they pimps, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Suckers claiming to be players, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Tricks acting like they max, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Betas claiming to be alpha, but they not though.
Now I'm not gonna tell you, man, that you shouldn't value your woman at all. A woman does have value, but you can't overvalue her and convince yourself that she brings more value to your life than you bring to hers. Just the protection and provision is more than a woman can ever make up for, man. So I'm not saying don't give her props for what she does, but damn sure never make her feel like she's more important to you than you are to her, because it's just a figment of your imagination. She knows the truth, so you have to understand the truth as well. This is called the abundance mindset. There's nothing she can give you that you can't give yourself, besides a baby. And do you really want one of those right now? Nope.
Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Simps claiming that they pimps, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Suckers claiming to be players, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Tricks acting like they max, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Betas claiming to be alpha, but they not though.
You see, the main thing that men let women slide with is shut-upness and obedience. Now, when you use the term obedience with a woman, she automatically relates that to being a slave. But slaves aren't obedient. Obedience is a choice. Slaves either do it or die. Shut-upness is another thing that women have a problem with. It doesn't mean you can't talk. It means that you can't talk when I'm talking. It means that when we're talking about things that I do as the man, you don't have an opinion on those things, because I make decisions based on facts, not opinions, not even my own opinions, and most certainly not yours.
Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Simps claiming that they pimps, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Suckers claiming to be players, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto.